This is Ethan, a young man living in the suburbs of Seattle, where the raindrops fall in rhythm with his life. He carries big dreams within him, building a successful startup, traveling the world, and living a life unchained from the fear of failure. But an invisible force keeps holding him back: laziness. Ethan knows exactly what he should be doing: drafting a business plan, learning a new skill, or even something as simple as replying to an email. But he doesn't. Instead, he sits there, mindlessly scrolling through videos, while an uneasy feeling gnaws at his heart. He's wasting himself. He knows he could soar high, yet it feels like his wings are tied down by procrastination. Time passes, but the feeling doesn't fade. It only grows heavier, like raindrops accumulating into deep puddles. Month after month, he promises himself that he'll change, especially around Christmas, when the twinkling lights bring renewed hope. He starts strong, fueled by enthusiasm, but soon procrastination creeps in, like a cold draft slipping through a door's crack. He wonders, why can't I break free? He searches for answers everywhere, from TED Talks to self-help books, but most only tell him to turn off his Wi-Fi or put away his phone. These feel like painkillers, temporary fixes that never touch the real wound. Then one rainy morning, with a cup of coffee in hand, Ethan remembers something from high school: inertia, Newton's first law. A bicycle at rest won't move unless someone pushes it. A book on a shelf won't open unless someone picks it up. Life is the same way. Every action needs an initial push to overcome stillness. But Ethan's problem, and maybe yours too, is that he makes this first push feel like an impossible weight. He tells himself, I have to finish my entire business plan today. And so, he doesn't start at all. Inertia wins. He loses. But then, Ethan realizes something. The push doesn't need to be huge. Imagine you're holding a kite. You don't need a storm to make it fly, just a gentle breeze. For Ethan, instead of forcing himself to complete an entire business plan, he tells himself, I just need to write the title. One single line. That's it. No pressure, no expectations. He sits down, types a few words, and something magical happens. He doesn't stop. From one line, he writes a paragraph, then a page. Why? Because once the kite lifts off the ground, it keeps flying. The inertia of motion replaces the inertia of stillness. Then he tries something else, inspired by Seattle's rain-slick streets. He calls it the streetlight rule. On dark, rainy nights, he doesn't need to light up the whole city. He just needs to step into the glow of the first streetlight. Likewise, when facing a daunting task, he tells himself, I'll do this until the clock hits 5 minutes. Just 5 minutes. No more. Need to write an important email? Just open the laptop and type the subject line. Need to clean his room? Just pick up one item, that's all. But strangely, once he steps into the light, he keeps walking. The email gets written, the room gets cleaned. 5 minutes pass, but the work continues as naturally as footsteps on a familiar sidewalk. Now Ethan is no longer the procrastinator he once was. He applies these small nudges to everything. Want to exercise? Just tie his shoelaces and step outside. Want to learn a language? Just open the app and read one sentence. These tiny steps lead him to heights he once thought impossible. As the ancient philosopher Lao Tzu once said, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. For Ethan, that step was just a single sentence, a cup of coffee, or the act of opening an umbrella. What about you? What small step will you take today? A light breeze? A single step forward? Ethan did it, and I believe you can too. There's no magic trick that will turn you into a super disciplined person overnight, but you don't need to change your entire life all at once. You just need to take the first step. And right now, do the thing you've been putting off for so long. Comment below, what will you start today? Blast off.